Live League Game of the Day, featuring Noobplaine as Kindle versus Joltspikes as Kindle.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another Live League Game of the Day. Today, folks, we are playing on a map called Shallow Straits. This is a double base airport, comm tower, and port supported matchup with a whole lot of flippin' wackiness to it, folks. Look at this map. Would you just look at it? Would you just flippin' look at it? What even is this map, folks? It's called Shallow Straits, and I think the general appeal of the map definitely says something to that name. Where do you even begin with a map like this, folks? There's so much to digest. There's terrain everywhere. Recons are probably really good, and that's about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. You do have a technical strong side over here, a technical weak side over here. You do have the one comm tower. So being as Mr. Noobplaine and Joltspikes, who are our players today, have chosen Kindle. Whenever she is on urban terrain, she will get a grand total of 140% firepower plus the comm tower, which equals 150% firepower. Oh my god. Oh my god. You don't want to be dealing with that, folks. Aside from that, like, I have no idea what is going to happen in this. This definitely just strikes me as sort of a center grab, attack the HQ kind of a match here. Now, I do believe that we have featured a game on this map before because it looks ultra familiar to me, folks. It looks ultra familiar, so I'm pretty sure we are going to be seeing some kind of a scenario where it's mainly just going for the HQ. Probably going to be a lot of brawling here too, folks. I'm super stoked about it. And I'm sure you are too. As we can see here, Noobplaine and Joltspikes, two of the really good Live League players here, folks, rated at number 15 and number 22 respectively over here in the standard ladder. So I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. Without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. On the first few days, folks, you all know the deal. It is the standardest of infantry builds, because you got to get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the number one priority in Advanced Wars by Web. Some people out there have been saying, and you know who you are, that you are waiting for the day that semi-original guy shifts all the way to day 5 and doesn't notice that mechs were built instead of the infantry. Well, I will tell you one thing, folks. I will tell you one thing. That day will never happen because nothing gets by semi-original guy. I will spot every single infantry ever purchased on the first day. And if there are no infantry purchased on the first day, you can guarantee that you are going to be seeing no infantry builds. And if there is a mech purchased on day 1, well, that'll be the legendary day of the standard mech builds. But in the meantime, folks, we do just have standard infantry builds, folks. Once again, you got to get them on the field. It is the number 1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. Number 2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot Live League action. Now, when we're dealing with a Kindle mirror, folks, it is all about getting on those cities and occupying the terrain. But it is also a very volatile matchup, folks, because as you are sitting on that terrain, you are dealing with a ticking time bomb that is Urban Blight, which will knock you right off of that terrain, folks. You can't be staying on the terrain long term, but you can be sitting on the terrain a short term and gather yourself a whole lot of income. Now, as we see here, folks, both players have busted out the first and second tank of the game here. I also just noticed that Joltspikes' total ELO is 1337. So that is quite elite, folks. Quite elite indeed. We love to get a little bit of eliteness over here. And Joltspike's turn is now upon us, folks. And he is rushing those infantry out. The tank is reaching HQ potential, folks. It is going right on top of that HQ. Not on the HQ, but just occupying the high ground. Occupying the high ground of the HQ right now. And we got more infantry rushing out here. What I would really love to see on this map, and I know it is probably never, ever going to happen, folks, but I would love to see a battleship. I think it would be the funniest thing that we have ever seen in a lively game to date. Battleship on this map. Oh, boy. That would be fun. That would be absolutely fun. But I don't think it's going to happen, folks. But, you know, we can dream. We can hope to dream. And right now, Noobplaine is hoping to dream indeed, because Joltspikes has already rushed the center, folks. He's got an infantry in the center, and Mr. Noobplaine does not. He does not have an infantry in the center, which makes it very, very difficult, folks. Will he be able to grab these cities in the center of the map with that infantry presence over here from Joltspikes? We are going to be finding that out very, very soon, folks. And I do believe that there was an update to Kindle, and I do just want to check something here, folks. We got ourselves a little bit of an engagement. Now, let's say, for example, what we want to do is we want to see this. Okay, so we're doing 60 to 69% damage here, folks. But if we're sitting on a city, it is 82 to 91% damage. So this is actually kind of a risky... Oh, no. Oh no, it's gone. All right, this is kind of a risky play. It's not like super risky, folks. It's not absolutely risky, but it's a little bit risky. It opens up some possibilities here. It opens up some doors, because Joltspikes could go in and attack this tank and not have to deal with the penalty of the 140% firepower, 150% firepower in this case here. But you do not want to do that, folks. You really don't want to go in and do that sort of an attack, because it's an absolute net negative for you to be attacking into that scenario, folks. So you can see here, 0-star terrain. Even when you're attacking Kindle on just a silo, there we go. You're basically just coming out with that even trade, even forbidden numbers. We're not going to be saying those over here on this channel, folks. We're not going to appease the newbies out there. We're gonna live our lives the way that we choose to live our lives, folks. And the way that we choose to live our lives is the absolute masterclass of classiness. We're trying to keep it as classy as possible here. And I swear to the good lord of the medium tank themselves, if somebody does not bust out in the medium tank in this game, I will absolutely get flipping irate. I will get irate, folks, if we do not see the classiest of units in Advanced by Web this game, because this is a prime, wonderful opportunity to be busting them out, folks. And we have an engagement over here. Noobplaine goes in, takes the engagement, and the only drawback from this engagement right here is Noobplaine could potentially be hit by a tank. And that's it. He's not going to lose the tank. He manages to find a free tank, takes it out of the game, folks. Absolutely beautiful find right there. Noobplaine could have technically, if he so chose, could have occupied this terrain, folks. He could have went bloop bloop and sat his infantry right over here, and possibly could have started a cap right there. Now that would be incredibly dangerous. Would it be super dangerous? Well, you would lose the infantry. That is without a doubt. The infantry would be lost. But that's about it. I mean, the infantry would be lost, but now, if Joltspikes wants, he can occupy this terrain right here and go in for a big old attack right now. But will he do that? I don't know. I think Joltspikes is probably going to be taking an engagement over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, he's absolutely not going to take that engagement, folks, because that is what I like to refer to as a fool's errand, and you don't want to be going for those engagements, folks. Absolutely not. Now, an engagement that maybe Mr. Joltspikes might want to do is just a standard attack on the HQ. Now, attacking the HQ from this region or this region right here could definitely net you a pretty positive attack over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This tank is not going to be able to reach, so that would be a free attack for sure. Now, the other option that Mr. Joltspikes could possibly do here is an old 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Occupy this terrain and probably completely eliminate this infantry here. Now, out of all the options, that's the one that's going to net you probably the most value out of the hit. But what that also does do is it puts your tank far out of position over here. And there's not really many places that the tank can go from this position here. It would have to double back over here, allowing this tank to push forward and start getting terrain. And you also run the risk of a battlecopter appearing next turn, forcing the tank to run away anyways. So, positives from a move like that? you eliminate an infantry, you can start a cap here, force response over here, and then kind of just move on from there, folks. But aside from that, there's not really too much else that you can do in that situation. You don't really want to send it to the middle because there's this tank over here occupying this tile right here, which means that if this guy goes to interrupt, he's going to be counterattacked with a fat flipping 150% firepower in the face. 50% boost on top of the normal firepower, folks, and that's just not something that we want to do, so we're not going to be doing that, folks. Now let's see what Mr. Joltspikes actually decides to do, because that's what we're all here for. So he's going to go and take that net positive trade right there, folks. No counter damage, no chip, just pure destruction right there. Absolutely beautiful. And like I said, it's not really too bad because you just bring it back over here afterwards, or you could send it down here and start attacking this infantry if Noobplaine does not actually choose to buy a battlecopter. Now, that does run a little bit of a problem. Because that does leave 4 or 5 tanks on this side versus 3 tanks. So long term, it's kind of risky. Kind of risky to leave your tank there long term, but doing a few quick attacks, probably nothing wrong with that, folks. Nothing wrong with that at all. Noobplaine eliminating an infantry, moving the tanks forward and busting out the battlecopter. Absolutely necessary in the situation, folks. You got to be getting the battlecopter on the field at this point. Otherwise, like I said, that tank is just going to be harassing you all day, folks. You got to get a mosquito on the field to deal with the harassment. Boom, we got a fat engagement right there, going for another capture, blocking with the tank now, and he's going to be acquiring that property. I don't believe that a 2 HP infantry really does enough damage here. I'm gonna just double check that, folks, but I think it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. It's a 8 to 9%. Now maybe if you got a power, well, if you got a power, you wouldn't even have to interrupt because it would already be interrupted. But that's probably not going to happen. Oh, we got a double over here. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one. That's a little bit. That's a little risky. A little bit risky. A little tiny smidge of Riscarino Rex over here, folks. That is... Oh, and he's got a double hit over here. Oh, like, okay, folks. Folcarino Rexes. All right, so we got a tank hit over here. 4 HP tank, a follow-up over here. Then we got a fresh hit over here. 2 HP to follow. Infantry. These tanks are probably going to be eliminated here, folks. It is highly likely that they're eliminated. And at this point, like, maybe Joltspikes even just gets this capture and go for the extra kills, but Noobplaine might want to interrupt because he's already up to 16. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be bad for Joltspikes, though. Absolutely bad for Joltspikes. Let's see what actually occurs here. Battlecopters are moving up. Get the full interrupt over here. And then he's doing that wraparound, folks. There we go. That's exactly what needed to occur here. Now, the full HP tank should be able to do about 60% damage to this other tank here. Follow up with the infantry, and then maybe even follow up with another infantry attack, or use the last remaining infantry to attack the infantry on the silo. That's definitely a possibility too. Oh my god, he takes it down to 1 and eliminated. Absolute massacre of tanks over here, folks. Doesn't even take the net negative trade, folks. Massacre. Absolute massacre of an attack right there. But Joltspikes got 18,000 properties, folks. Well, 18,000 income. Technically only 18 properties. Now, if you had 18,000 properties, oh boy, that would be a lot of income, folks. A lot of income. Does the anti-air even cover this battlecopter or these tanks? Does it? I think it does, right? Yeah, it does. But the battlecopter can attack this infantry, get away scot-free, or it can shift over to the other side of the map here, folks. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so I pressed the button, but that's fine, folks, because now we have an urban blight. Noobplaine, the Floppinator, has activated urban blight, doing 3 damage to all opposing units on urban terrain, which is pretty big. It's a pretty big attack, folks. But what can he do to follow up this sort of an attack? He can't really occupy city tiles this turn, so he's not going to be able to get huge amounts of value from his attack, but it does look like there is some potential here for some carnage. So let's see what he decides to do here, folks. Goes in for the guaranteed 2-hit KO right there, folks. That is actually pretty nice. Occupying the terrain. That will stop the tank advancement here. Now, it looks like there is one tank hit. Oh, is there even one tank hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there is not. There is not. Oh, that is a solid position. That is one of the most solid positions I've ever seen, folks. I don't think he's got absolutely anything to worry about, folks, and neither do I. We don't have to get irate this game, folks, because we have the classiest unit in Advanced by Web on the field, folks. The classiest of the medium tanks is on the field, ready to cause so much havoc. Absolute massive amounts of havoc here, folks. Now, Joltspikes. I don't know if Noobplaine necessarily planned this out perfectly, but look at that income, folks. Joltspikes only has 16,000 income, so if he wants to respond with a counter medium tank, he's going to have to base skip. And he's already lower on units, folks. He's down to 11 units. I don't really know if base skipping is necessarily the plan here. I don't think it's the play. I think you got to just bust out more units. Battlecopter tank is way better than base skipping. Well, you technically do base skip, but you would have only built 2 units anyways out of your 2 bases. Sometimes when it comes to this high level play, folks, you have to weigh your options, and you have to understand that sometimes a tactical base skip is worth it in certain scenarios here, folks. Now, would 2 tanks really be able to do a whole lot in this situation? Not as much as a battlecopter plus a tank. Now, especially since Noobplaine doesn't have any units on the front lines that can effectively deal with a battlecopter. That will force the Noobplaine to build an anti-air or send the copter over here, folks. Either way, pretty cool. Nice move. I like it. I like it a lot. And the classiest unit's moving up, folks. Oh my god. Oh, and he's going to sacrifice the battlecopter for a tank hit to occupy the center of the map, folks. Oh my lord. Oh wait, hold the stinky old phone. All right, no, it's safe. It's safe. That is a safe battlecopter, folks. One battlecopter is not safe, and that's going to be completely eliminated, but the other one, safe. Absolutely safe. So boom, there it goes. Tactical loss, folks. That's what it is. Got another infantry elimination here. Now, Joltspikes, he's doing worse on unit count, but he's got 20 properties, folks. So he is going to be able to effectively bust out 3 units every single turn. And can Noobplaine do the exact same? Well, no. Technically, he can't. He could. He could bust out a battlecopter plus infantry combination every single day, but he can't bust out 2 vehicles, or a vehicle, infantry, and a battlecopter. Unless you wanted to go the route of the artillery. That is definitely a possibility, folks. Get the soap cannons on the field, cleaning up the place. That is a possibility, but we'll see. We'll see if that's what's going to happen here. This is actually kind of an interesting situation here, folks, because the medium tank has been put right next to a city on a road. Now, not necessarily the most advisable play that you could possibly do, folks, but there's actually a metric, a buttload of damage that you can do with an urban blight and a tank on a city to a medium tank, which is just sitting on a road here, folks. Now I'm going to just show you here essentially what we're dealing with. There we go, folks. 30 to 39% damage, so that might effectively take this tank possibly all the way down to 5. The classiest unit could be taken down to 5 with a simple tank hit, folks. Could happen. And does this tank really have anything else to do? Well, I mean, yeah, it does. It could run away like a coward, or it can face challenges head on, folks. We'll see what he actually decides to do. Is he going to face the challenge head on, or is he going to run away like a coward? We shall see. Oh, he's going for the hit, folks. Okay. Let's see if he gets the big damage or the little damage. It's guaranteed to do 3 at least, so it does 3. Okay. It's kind of what we expected. But you know what? The bigger the damage would have been pretty funny. Now, that opens up Mr. Joltspikes' other medium tank. The other medium tank on the field, the other classiest unit. It's rushing the front lines now, and now it doesn't really have to worry too much about Noobplaine's medium tank. And Noobplaine can't respond with another medium tank, folks. He's only got 14,200 funds in the bank. So what does he do? He pops the Urban Blight, folks. He's going to be popping the Urban Blight, and he's going to be moving the Battlecopter forward. Oh, my flipping god. That just exposes the medium tank to a Battlecopter play. What is even going on here, folks? You got to keep your classy units safe, because, oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. They thought that the orange medium tank was down. Oh, no. Oh, no, folks. It shows up with a vengeance. With an absolute vengeance. Oh my god, that Battlecopter hit though. Whew. That was a big one. Big hit right there. Busting out the anti-air. Flipping 20 units to 10 units. Joltspikes needs to get something accomplished here, folks, because he's being absolutely slaughtered on the battlefield here. And he ends the turn right there, folks. He's putting his faith in the medium tanks. He's putting his faith in the classiest of units. That's the way it should be, folks. That's the way it should be. You gotta put your faith in the classy units. For will they let you down? No, they won't let you down, folks. And even if you do lose while using the classiest units in Advanced Wars by Web, you can lose knowing that you played classy. And that's what it's all about. Noobplaine knows that, folks. He's busting out the classiest unit and a transport copter. Very interesting transport copter buy. We shall see what occurs with this. Great positioning over here from Joltspikes, attacking from the one tile where he is safe. If he attacked from anywhere else, well, that would have been a bad idea, folks. So he knows what's up. He pops the power. Urban Blight. Doing that damage. Going to be siphoning the money away from Noobplaine, forcing him to buy the little itty bitty baby units once again, folks. He's not going to be able to buy the big boys. Whereas Mr. Joltspikes, if he so chose, he could have busted out more of the big boys, but he did not. He's saving 6,700 funds next turn with his 20k that is the bank. What is he going to be doing with that money, though, folks? This is dangerous. This is dangerous territory, folks. People get tempted into doing dangerous, unsanitary things when they have this much money. What are they going to be able to do with this much money, folks? Oh my lord, he's joining the caps. What is this cap sitting at now, folks? Sitting at 3. Holy moly, that is quite possibly going to be going to. I will bet my last dollar that this capture goes through, folks. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it. He could potentially bust out. No, he can't even bust out an Urban Blight. It's not even possible. Oh, is it going to be interrupted? It's not going to do enough damage, though. Yeah, it can't. It's not even any point to attack it. Ah, see, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. People get too rich. They get too rich and they get too absorbed in their own filthy lifestyle, and they bust out the soiledest of abominations, folks. Soiled abominations. Will Noobplaine resort to such unsanitary tactics, or will he play a classy game and be able to come out on top here, folks? We are going to be finding out very, very soon, because Noobplaine has got 20,300 funds in the bank. It's not quite enough for a soiled abomination, but it is very close, and we shall be finding out very soon what kind of man Mr. Floppa actually is here, folks. He busts out the Urban Blight right as soon as the Trumpets of Doom were released, and the music gets all the more exciting at this moment. Boom, there we go, folks. Got a sacrifice attack, a big old flipping Battlecopter hit, going for those caps, and just like that, folks, look at the income, or not the income, look at the unit count. Joltspikes is down to 7, but Noobplaine is also going down in units. He's down to 16. He was at around 20. When this soiled abomination, when the Neo tank reaches the front lines, folks, it's going to be deleting units all over the map, and that is very dangerous, folks. Why are we attacking the Battlecopter? Oh, he attacks the Battlecopter because he resigns. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now, he probably could have did a lot of damage to this guy, but that would have resulted in a beefed up full HP medium tank attacking over here. So this guy was definitely doomed to fail. I guess the moral of the story here is you stay classy, you win classy. And that's about it, folks. That's about it. Joltspikes is an amazing player, though. So all jokes aside, well played. He played pretty much behind almost that entire game and still held out pretty good with that income lead, folks. But flipping Noobplaine just came in and he started taxing people, folks. He taxed them to death, and that was all it is, folks. So congratulations, Noobplaine. Well job on the win. Thank you kindly for the submission once again. And hopefully you all enjoyed. And if you did, folks, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. And bye-bye for now.